started. Awesome. I'll say hi, but my internet isn't too great, so I'm probably going to go with no video for most of this.
Then let's go. No, that's Peter.
What's that?
There's Peter. Just saw you for a sec. How's everything going? How's everything going in Portugal?
It's good. Today was a bit rainy, but otherwise not a bad place to be spending some time.
Sweet.
Hey, Griff. Cool. So we can jump into things. Phil, I don't want to take the reins because I know this is a topic that you really wanted to spend time leading also, and you had a lot of awesome ideas around. But I guess like a quick recap for everyone on where we're working out of, in case it's helpful, is this Notion page. Oh, I should probably share my screen, and I'll also drop the link. Screens, sharing. Cool. Yeah, so we have this Notion page with a few of the topics we've been diving in on, and service marketplace design is the theme for this call, and I'll send the link in a second. But basically the idea is that the service marketplace is kind of where we're envisioning clients and token engineers coming together to find work or to connect on work. And it's really going to be interesting to think about how to design that marketplace in a way that meets the needs of clients and the token engineers, and incentivizes people to participate on both sides. So, Phil, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm really sorry I did not have too much time to prepare anything. I think like the main thing we would like to achieve here with this marketplace design is to create something practical, which we could like start working on like directly without too much planning. I think maybe as first approach to talk to companies which we know, which do already token engineering or have already clients, and see what we can learn from them and how marketplace what would be different, like if we offered a service in a marketplace than offering it as a company. Yeah, I think that's probably like a little market analysis. That's how we could start.
Yeah, for sure. That was one of the things we had talked about. Basically, if this marketplace is a space where token engineering individuals or groups, companies could come and connect with clients that are looking for token engineers, then we'd obviously want to get more familiar, more understanding about what the current services marketplace looks like. Today, I think that's one of the pain points, I guess, we've heard from a lot of people around the community, is that there are people practicing token engineering, but there's a lot, like the clients get sent places based on word of mouth, and it's pretty inefficient, and nobody really knows exactly who's working on what because it's kind of siloed, and there could be a lot more transparency into the services providing. And yeah, so understanding what the current market looks like was one of the first items on the list. Kind of general like market research too, which would be pretty interesting. And I know one of the companies already doing cert.
Yeah, I think also like especially
LTF, and we have Sean here, so.
That's the first person to attack.
Yeah.
And to interview kind of. And I reached out to one guy from Crypto Economic Hub, I think his name. His name is like Laurent Hardy. He's from Spain, Barcelona or Madrid. Yeah, I think it's like maybe a good starting point. And then like I know these guys from Leondrino Exchange or Leondra, but they're really enterprise focused. So they do like IBM tokens, like on the IBM infrastructure, but they're also looking for token engineering services, basically. And I think or it's a good starting point to reach out to those entities or persons and just talk with them and then get like an overview, like the traditional kind of business model canvas style, like exploring the fields, where you keep
Mhm.
partners, customers, and from the marketplace design itself, I don't know, but what we would need, maybe we need to like a little list of first
Yeah.
infrastructure required.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we'll discover through the research is that all of the firms, like, or people that are providing services currently, they they have different purposes, and they probably serve different like client segments. Like some people might, like you were saying, serve more enterprise, like Web 2 companies even, that are interested in Web 3 but don't really know how to get in or want to understand the right way to do it. And some people might be doing like much more like heavy research, and some people might be providing basic models. And yeah, so there's going to be a bunch of different segments of token engineering services too. And I don't think a transparent working services marketplace is will be perfectly a perfect fit for all of those types of services, especially at the beginning. But it'd be a great way to learn more about the market and figure out what types of services uh, could be part of this marketplace
What,
in the early
what
stages.
do you, what do you mean with transparent?
Well, I guess like if we were building if this was tech that was, built open source and as a way to match like clients requesting service from token engineers, then it
Hmm?
would be essentially potentially it would be transparent process
No.
in
Also
terms
the
of like
payment.
who's asking for what, how much they're paying for, what the work is. And I actually, I mean, I don't even know if that's true though, but it'd be interesting to find all that stuff out. I guess before we go like too deep into this stuff, does anybody have comments or questions? I have no idea really what this we're talking about yet.
Sounds like we're good.
Maybe not. um, okay. Well, uh, yeah. So Phil, you've already started reaching out. I think I think like answering these questions is an awesome first step. Um, yeah, that should for sure be the plan. Do you have
Yes.
any ideas for the workflow for completing that part?
Actually, I don't so far. I'm really sorry, but I haven't spent too much time. Like from September, I would be like having a lot of time to work on this.
Mhm.
But at the moment, it's just like side hustle. But like I said, like probably start with just reaching out to entities, and then we
Mhm.
need to think about like actually just need to put in some hours how we differentiate from a normal company. What makes a marketplace difference? I mean, marketplace means normally that you can like just join in as a token engineer or as a company to buy services there.
Yeah, I guess
But
that's a good question. In in your mind, is the marketplace providing services, or is it facilitating the connection of um, like clients and services?
yeah, it's a good point to think about. Yeah, like okay, because not, here in this working group actually should think about what services the marketplace is providing to the engineers and the customers, right? Like a
Mhm.
normal marketplace, for example, allows like gives like a framework and like reviews and well, I mean what a platform offers to its participants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Supply side, demand side. mapping, I think would be
Okay.
a great one. Like it's basically market research on actually I think these are flipped. Demand side should be clients. Well, depends on who you ask, I guess, but but yeah, so supply side research is basically like who are the token engineers that might be looking for work and don't know where to go to do it, or the ones that are even completing work right now, and are there any what are their needs and pain points and challenges and things, and what would they need in order to want to participate in a market like this.
And what can the marketplace offer them? Do you have to somewhere? Or I mean, normally a marketplace like Uber offers its drivers kind of the software and maybe an insurance, and just talking about traditional marketplaces, what they offer their parties, like some security for both parties for the
Mhm.
wants to match. But I don't know. That's cheese and the
I
demand side.
I think I I would suggest that the first question should be looked at is what types of services are being requested. I think this would offer a lot of clarity to the whole picture, and maybe there are even token engineers that don't know they are token engineers.
Mhm.
You know, if some of the services that are being requested are services that people that are not necessarily in this community have the expertise. Like today in the governance research group we're putting up, we were discussing how the governance side of token engineering is so neglected, and that there is not much into it, that like token engineers don't usually consider working on governance, but then
Mhm.
tokens before were used so much in the economical aspect of things, and then this same token started to be used in the governance aspect, and there is not so much separation of them and understanding of how to work with governance tokens from the ground,
Mhm.
and have multiple approaches to these two streams.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good point. Um, I usually forget that token engineering isn't all building models. Well, I guess I don't forget that, but it's just there's a huge the spectrum is so wide. The types of work and services I'm sure is pretty huge. But it'd be really interesting to start kind of categorizing the types of services that are out there. And I think we would like immediately just learn so much just from talking to the groups that are doing these services, and also like the TE Academy, because I think they get a lot of inbound for this stuff too. The other question I just thought of that we should definitely get more concrete on is what value, like why does the token engineering field, or why does the token engineering community need a marketplace? Like what benefits does the marketplace offer to the
Yep.
token engineering community?
I put this here down like differentiating token engineering marketplace versus company. Or so what would be the difference?
Yeah. Yes, exactly that. Um, and I think I have some ideas on it. Um,
And is there a need already for
yeah,
a marketplace?
yeah, um,
Because
yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
if they're
think about that for a second.
yeah, I think it's just we should definitely spend some more time on this. Like typical, what's the problem? What's the solution?
Mhm.
For whom are we solving the problem? Honestly, I just need to spend a couple of hours on this
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then
Where
come
do you
back.
think where do you think is a good place to work out of? Is this Notion a good spot?
Yeah,
I know
Notion is great.
Miro's great for mapping and brainstorming and stuff. I just had a really scary incident of deleting a bunch of stuff from Notion and it was unrecoverable, so I'm a little off of the
Oh.
Notion train at the moment. But yeah.
We can work. I mean, you can. I'm also kind of fan of Google Drive, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay.
We could set up a drive on
Okay.
or Miro. For me, that's also fine.
Cool. Okay. We can look at
There's
that.
already that page from the value flows.
The
We could
Miro
probably
board.
just continue using that board.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
Get it all in
on
one
this.
place.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because there's so much value in that board. It's a really good start. And then it's kind of like a skeleton and it just needs meat on the bones kind of thing.
Yeah, and actually, it was really cool to see. So for the one of the other initiatives that's spun out of the Value Flows course was the mapping knowledge flow, or like I guess mapping the relationship between the services and the education side of the token engineering economy, and we're working on that with the TE Academy. And in doing so, we actually like just straight up copied over a few of the stakeholder profiles. We started a new Miro board, I guess, because it was cleaner or whatever. But we started out with a few of the stakeholders we had already mapped out. We stole this stakeholder interaction matrix that we already had used in the ecosystem value flows course. So it's really cool to like see that already paying its dividends. But yeah, I agree. Okay, so we can probably keep working out of here, although it's gonna take long to load eventually because there'll be so much stuff. Cool.
Yeah, works for me. Or maybe, yeah. Maybe we make one extra and merge it then, or that works.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. Personally, I think I just need to put in more time. I'm very sorry that I haven't so far.
All good.
We've
all got a lot on
and
the road.
then I'm always like a huge fan to meet to discuss results, and then like work over the results. Or
yeah, agreed.
Perfect.
So let's see. I mean, we could spend. I mean, I think in general, like you were saying, it just needs to get the idea needs to get fleshed out a little bit more. Would it help to discuss that, like some of the topics, like the supply side needs, demand side needs, this differentiating the marketplace and company, or like what's the value of the marketplace to the community questions? Would it help to discuss those right now, or should we just maybe even use the rest of this hour for everyone to kind of go individually and add notes and comments and stuff on the Miro board? We could just do individual work.
Yeah, we can put this question on the Miro board and then like work in there.
Okay.
That sounds good for me. Still take team 5 Miro, right? Main. I don't know.
Yep.
First. Yeah, that's a really good question. If we would definitely, I mean, if we should start already a marketplace, or if we not like start like an open DAO-like company for token engineering services, which then merges into a marketplace. Because for me, also like I don't know so many people like you know, there were some from the bachelor thesis I had some parameters to answer when it makes sense to build a marketplace and when it doesn't. And I can't remember them at the moment, but yeah, that's a question. Do we need a marketplace, or do we have another open token engineering company, DAO kind of, sub-DAO?
Yeah.
And what would be the difference except that the funds are on-chain?
Yeah, I think we will learn a bit about that as we go into the to uncovering more about what the current marketplace looks like. But I mean, there's already, and we listed a handful of them in this document already. There's already a bunch of companies that are doing token engineering services. So if people want to do this work or want to provide token engineering services, then they could join a company that's already practicing and work for them and go from there. But I think that there is also a lot of value in opening up at least part of this marketplace, part of like the services providing space, and making it more transparent through a marketplace like this, and having this be like more of a starting point for for clients to find token engineering services, or for token engineers to find work before they maybe get more specialized and join specific teams or something. But I don't really know all the answers to that question yet.
Maybe what could be interesting, just again market research. If you know what block science is doing, and if you would know what Delphi Digital is doing, and I don't even know what Longtail Financial is doing exactly, and then we could see if like not also the supply side could benefit because they have different skill sets. They could then combine different customer products, different customer needs.
Yeah, maybe Sean, can we ask you a question right now about this? What do you think the benefit is of creating an open or a transparent services providing, or a transparent marketplace for services to be exchanged, as coming from the perspective of a currently providing services centralized company?
So a big thing is fair pricing. So right now, no one knows, like, if someone's in search of these services, most of them don't even know where to look, right? They don't even know how it's possible to attain these services. So if they come across one entity that is offering some sort of service, token advisory or tokenomics analysis, or even engineering, so coming with a bonding curve dashboard, something like that, then they're pretty much at the will of that. Like, there's not much. The competition is scarce because there's no open marketplace, right? So probably the pricing is all over the place. Probably every company that's paying for a similar token engineering service is paying wildly different prices for it. Now, this hurts the clients and the providers potentially, or it's like a give and take in different situations, but it's not necessarily fair. If there was like an open marketplace where providers come and provide services and clients come and request services, then you'd get these like market dynamics that would sort of settle the value of pricing based on supply and demand. So that's one thing.
Yeah, so the market's inefficient.
I want to jump in on this. Like, the market is extremely inefficient, and the people who are really good at token engineering don't need to work anymore. Like, the people who have like years of experience, they've engineered some economies and started printing money. So it's kind of like this it's a weird market where some of the best experts, they have to really be intrinsically motivated to succeed. And I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in the token engineering space. I'm very biased. I come from Common Stack, Giveth, like, hey, let's use token engineering to like change the nonprofit space. I feel like there's a huge opportunity in a marketplace where people who are maybe underfunded but could like pull out some intrinsic motivation for the actual change they want to see in the world, and that these other people who are like, they want to work, but they already did a DeFi casino and are good on money, you know? So like maybe they're looking for a more interesting opportunity that like will fulfill them in ways beyond the funds. And so like finding a way to be, token engineering Tinder, where like there's token engineers out there, and but not that many right now because of the bull market, right? But there's token engineers out there that just like haven't found anything that's really like interesting to them. And then there's endless projects that need token engineers, like endless. And it's almost probably the token engineers right now are like cute girls on Tinder. It's like they have their pick of the bunch, but at least they have their pick of the bunch. And they can see and like fair pricing is an interesting thing, right? Because what is fair? It's like there's market rates, which there are no market rates right now, which is what YGG is also saying. Mm-hmm. But there's also like social good, and there's other value that can be created around this marketplace beyond just matching like, oh, I have a gig, oh, you can do the gig,
Yeah.
This is huge. Can you guys hear me? I forget if I muted.
Yep.
But
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So this is like, and just visibility and transparency. Like if work is happening in the open, it would be nice if it's known, because as a token engineer, I am personally motivated by a lot of things that aren't just payments. And I'd say over 90% of the work that I've provided to different initiatives, I haven't gotten paid for. I just find these projects to be super interesting and really cool, and I jump in and I do a lot. So if this was happening in an open marketplace, then at least there would be sort of a record of contributions, or there would be sort of like a visibility on contributions, and there might be some emergent properties or emergent mechanisms that capture that and actually quantify it and feed it back into the like incentive mechanism of whatever's being deployed or the greater marketplace.
This was my second point, and that's what every marketplace provides that hasn't been mentioned yet, is reputation. Reputation for both sides of the party, like both parties. Mm-hmm. If you have maybe you have like, I don't know, some great company that's doing a lot of cool token engineering, but they treat their token engineers like crap, some bad Yelp reviews. And then you have like token engineers that say they're hot shit, but really they don't know what they're talking about and they're rude to work with, It's like maybe they can token engineer really well, but you know what? They're just bad humans, and you don't want to work with them. So, like having a really solid baseline for reputation in the marketplace would add a lot of value. And then you have people like YGG who are like, I'm going to do this stuff for free. Just, I love what you're doing, and I know you don't have the funds, so like, give me some future thing, some future cut or something, right? And then if it's a success, then we both win. But for now, like, I'm just going to be a great guy. Well, at least you get also some reputation on the platform. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to sell out later, YGG, you can. Just messing.
They're kind of back in the verifiable credentials space, or?
Yeah, there's like the NFT skill forest that is going on that you could kind of tag team with.
Yeah, that's one of the topics it kind of falls in. That's one of the topics that falls in the middle of this working group, which is like marketplace focused, and then the other working group, which is like services and / the academics field focus, because obviously that's where you would like earn the credentials or develop your skill forest, but then this is where you would apply it. So yeah, we that's a topic that we have to for sure dive into. Reputation's hard though.
I mean, reputation is hard for sure. But I mean, academia is a place to get some skills, but I'll tell you, you know, when you've been under, like, if you designed a system and then it had a fail, you know, you learn a lot. Like, you should get some NFT action if you've been hacked for an economic attack, right? Like, that will teach you some things. Like, in some ways it's a bad mark, but in many ways, like, I'm always looking for Solidity devs, and my preference is that they've been hacked before, because they're not going to let that happen again, you know? They know what that's like.
NFTs that represent scars.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of like a degen score for the degen, like the people
Yeah.
building the casino. I don't know if you saw the degen score thing. It's like they track how many times you've been rug pulled, your address, and like your degen score goes up the more, like, you know, times you lose money through hacks or whatever.
Wow.
Trade cred.
Trade cred. Yeah. What are the good questions here? What would be the motivation for? So what's the motivation then for clients looking for services to participate in this marketplace? I guess they have possibly they get token engineering services for a lower price, and with token engineers that are more aligned with the values of the project.
Yeah, I mean, I really think the second one is way more important. Most of the time, the price isn't nearly as critical as finding the right person for the right job, finding the right person with the right experience. You know, the right person who is really like, oh yeah, you might be a great token engineer, but you've never designed a liquidity mining program. You know, so okay, so now you're learning it. Oh, this guy, he's a mediocre token engineer, but he's done 6 liquidity mining programs. Well, number 7 is going to be really good, you know?
So it's kind of finding the right talent. By having like a blackboard, or you can write out your project.
Yeah. And the guy who's done 6 liquidity mining programs, he probably has all the Python code already written. He probably has all these things already done. So he'll do a great job for cheaper just because he has the experience and the tools at his hand, at his fingertips.
Yeah, that's another, actually leads to another topic that I have no idea how it really fits in here yet, but if this market is transparent, and say it's transparent on, I mean, you could be transparent on like the requests from clients, and they just have, I don't know, they are searching for token engineers with backgrounds of XYZ and skills of XYZ, but then you could also, I mean, then does like the contract between those two parties happen sort of independently out of the marketplace, or does it happen within the same like tech infrastructure? And then like, does the work, like the modeling that the token engineer does, is that all like the I don't know where I'm going with this actually, but I guess what I'm thinking of is the fact that like models that are built by token engineers there's a huge potential to build them like Legos, like DeFi has built Legos with their protocols. But if token engineers do private work for clients and the models are all held in private GitHub repositories, then there's no future value of those models, and future token engineers couldn't use them or replicate them. And I don't know if that type of transparency in terms of the models that the token engineers built would be included in this part of the marketplace, but that's a different question maybe.
That's really interesting. Like if you can create revenue with other models, like with all ones you created, and if someone forks them basically and use them again for a new class, and you all one should like have a cut of the revenues or profit from at least. It's like maybe an open question or how to monetize marketplace contributions continuously.
That's actually pretty similar to the other topic we're working on in using NFTs to map the distribution of knowledge content throughout a network. And in that context, it's more of like creating an NFT that represents an article or something, like a Medium article, and then that Medium article gets distributed across a network, and you're able to track where it's been using NFTs, and you're also able to track like modifications to the article, or like more of an academic research paper or something. But you could also say the same for a model, and the model is represented by an NFT, and if it's forked and edited, then the NFT changes, but it always has this, leaves these breadcrumbs back to the original model, and value could be redistributed down the chain again in the future.
Super interesting. What's the name? Sorry. What's the name of the project?
It's actually this I was just looking at it.
Yeah, I got it.
Thing. Yeah.
I failed to check it out so far. It's on the list.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I wonder what value could be provided to the community by also creating this marketplace as a space where these models are open sourced, and that incentivizes token engineers to build those open source models if they know that future forks are going to lead to potential income streams or revenue streams.
I mean, I also think, if you're building a token engineering marketplace, you better have a token for the marketplace.
Yeah.
And you can have a, if this is like a project that ends up with open source code, you can have token rewards within your own marketplace for that work, and maybe make it a commons of some sort so you can deal with low liquidity issues, like a bonding curve. It's not like this is a very niche, this is not a global economy kind of I mean, maybe one day, but to start, you're going to have liquidity problems. So yeah, you have to do some token engineering around it, but you gotta, I feel like there's a place for closed source token engineering, as much as I hate to admit it.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be excluded from the marketplace, but that doesn't mean you can't reward, be that, take your opportunity as a marketplace to incentivize a little bit more open source behavior than there would have been. And also using your place as a collection point for these services, for these things, because like, where is the library, right? Open Zeppelin has done an amazing job of providing a library for Solidity code. Where's the library for Python code on token engineering? Like, search CAD on GitHub and see what you get? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Good point. We also like closed source token engineering versus open source. But like, if you have like two projects which are directly competing with each other, then you probably cannot open source the token engineering further or work on the same basis. Then the competition is also kind of out. I don't know. Or it will increase even the competition because they need to rework their models.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking of something. Yeah, I don't know. Griff, you mentioned like basically creating another DAO and a bonding curve and a token and like all of this stuff to power this marketplace. And I feel like that's like probably the right path, but it's really hard to balance trying to consider all of those options and flesh them out and and like design a marketplace with all of those extra features at the same time as like making legitimate progress and being realistic and like trying to build something and learn along the way. I mean, you obviously have some experience with this with building the TEC, but like, yeah, I don't know. There's just like so many details that would need to be hashed out before that DAO and bonding curve launch, and a lot of work between now and then. And how do you, manage making progress along the way?
Yeah, no, totally. Hey, we still don't have a token in the TEC, and we started in July.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year, so it takes time.
Yeah.
Or you just like YOLO into a token real quick because it's bull market. Those are your two options, like you grind. Grind for a year or YOLO for the timing. But I'd probably lean toward grinding for a year, honestly.
Mm-hmm. How do you think that a marketplace like this could leverage what the TEC has already built in a huge community and a DAO and a bonding curve and a token?
Well, I think it's a great project that the TEC would fund. I mean, obviously we would give support and, also with the TEC, a lot of it, just like Gitcoin, it's not all about funding. In fact, it's barely about funding. It's more about awareness and advertising in many ways. So a project like this would be really clutch for advancing token engineering. It's right in our wheelhouse. This is the kind of stuff we would want to fund. So why, it's like just being in partnership and probably being funded or being supported by the community and the funding streams that we're going to create, and then and the network that will be created as well. Like I feel like it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Very nicely said.
Okay. Cool. So, Bill, what are you thinking for next steps? I think we gotta like do a lot more market research and on a lot of fronts, or just basically interviewing type questions to stakeholders.
Yes, I think it was really extremely valuable feedback from Sean and Griff. Thanks a lot, and like just all some thoughts here, and as you said, doing research.
Mm-hmm.
Step, and maybe come up with some results until next. We do this now every Thursday.
So we don't have recurring meetings for this stuff yet, because I guess it just feels so much in flux, and like the topics that are coming out that we want to prioritize in the short term are even like changing a little bit. So we haven't set up anything recurring or official. But I think this is one of the topics that basically has found its footing. So yeah, let's schedule something weekly for it.
Yep. Or we come and meet when we have results. Or
yeah, I mean, we could always cancel the meetings if hasn't been updates. I would say we should err on that just to encourage progress.
That's a good one.
And I guess we can. Who's in this call? Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can coordinate with people who are still interested in joining. I'm sure Sean and some of the other LTF folks too might be interested. So later in the evenings, and then Thursdays would be good, but we can pick a time. Cool.
Sure, perfect. Thursdays or?
Yeah, Thursdays work. Hopefully not this late though, to be honest.
Sorry, I was a little late today. Sorry.
All good.
Yeah, let's do Thursday at 6 for me. That works also.
Okay, that's right before the.
Do it fine for Sean, time-wise.
Am I still sharing my screen? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Thursdays at 6 would be good. Do you think we should still do a? So there's the other working group sort of thing. I feel like I'm calling everything a working group these days, but the other topic that we're diving in on is the value flows MVP, which is kind of like creating this mapping of knowledge, like token engineering knowledge to token engineers, and it's like the skill tree or skill forest topics, and I guess just trying to make sure that this topic and the one that we in the marketplace topic stay somewhat coordinated. I feel like we don't need another like weekly call, but maybe we just see how it goes with because there are some overlapping participants, and hopefully the two groups won't get too far.
No, I think it's fine.
Too far,
I think tomorrow I can also join, and then you and me both in both working groups, and then we can keep everything together, right?
I also think when you guys are doing your research, I hope you dive into Gitcoin. I feel like they've done a great job of like marketplace for a similar audience and have a lot of interesting experiments that have some have succeeded, some have failed for various reasons. So yeah, I would definitely hit the research there.
Cool.
Gitcoin noted. Yes, thanks. Where's the list? Where's the list of companies? That's kind of.
Oh, you might have. I put it under a caret. You gotta expand the caret. There's like a little. Yeah.
A caret?
Yeah, I think that's what they're called.
Hey guys, I have to jump, but I'll catch up with next steps later.
Cool. Yeah, we'll
you.
keep you updated. Thanks, Libby.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Same. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks a bunch, Griff. Bye.
Yes. Thanks a
Then,
lot.
yeah, maybe we just wrap up too. Sean, did you have any last comments? Are you still around? All right. Cool.
Interesting project. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'll jump off as well.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Christopher. Christopher, yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. Yeah, Peter, I think that's, I apologize again to not spend enough time on this, and it's getting really interesting, and I really love the feedback of Sean and Chris.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just like a huge, there's a lot of, it's a big topic. I mean, you are like continuously on the train of, like being practical and realistic, and I think that's like super valuable. And obviously a important perspective to have. But I feel like a lot of this is like the nature of projects like this is unfortunately not that approach, which is really hard. It's like a battle for me too. It's like in order to build something, you have to be realistic and learn while doing, because that's a great way to learn. But at the same time, you can't like build a DAO and launch a bonding curve and a token multiple times for the same project. You have to kind of like make sure you're doing, I mean, yeah, you can't really do that. Or like Griff kind of gave the example of,
YOLOing in.
yeah, YOLOing into the bull market versus spending time and grinding it out and building something
No,
with
but
the right parameters. So
I'm,
it's a tough balance to
getting,
strike, but I think yeah.
and I'm getting more and more sold on that we can build something bigger than just a token engineering company with this project.
Yeah, and I think
No.
there's already like those companies. So I think that's a big part of like why it might be a good time for a marketplace.
Absolutely. Cool. I will schedule some time.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Let's also add, related to the Gitcoin topic, just what other marketplaces are there in blockchain?
Yeah, that's a good research. I will put it on create pitch deck. Actually, market analysts, no? Or
I got it. I'm adding it.
on the Gitcoin point.
Yeah.
And then, because you asked already, then where we put all our research. I really like to put it in Google Slides.
Slides? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, what are your favorites?
Yeah, I mean, I like Notion. Like, I really like the structure of it, but it's scary to like edit because you can delete things easily and they're gone.
That sucks. You can even integrate Google Slides or Google Drive.
I think you can definitely integrate Google Drive.
Cool. Yeah, I need to spend more time on this.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
let's do some research. And I will also reach out definitely to this guy from Leandrino. That would be valuable. Like as we defined there, what are they actually looking for, and how could that be solved by a marketplace?
Yeah, we should plan to try and like one thing. We're basically doing some stakeholder interviews again. And I thought that the stakeholder interviews we had in the Ecosystem Value Flows course went really well when we kind of asked similar questions, or we had a relatively structured approach to the like interviews and asking similar questions to the same or to different groups, and then adjusting the questions as we go and realize we want to like dive into more areas. So maybe we should start by setting up a
interview guide.
Yeah, like an interview guide.
Got you. I have there's a really nice course. It's called Agile Development or something. It's on Coursera, and they have a pretty cool interview guide. There, cool. I can share this with you, so maybe you can like take elements of it.
Yeah.
Creating interview guide.
Yeah, for sure.
Interview guide. Okay, I put it down as a task.
Yeah, so doing that and then getting the interviews done is obviously another one. And yeah, I think those are like the big next steps. And then and then we just like need to consolidate the learning somewhere and start to try and pull some insights out of it.
Structuring stuff. That's great. Cool.
Sweet.
Thank you so much, Peter. You're doing a fantastic job.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, and appreciate the interest on your end too. Cool.
Absolutely. Cool.
All right. Well,
Dan, let's stay in contact. I'll give you like an introduction in Arweave if you're interested.